Well, I have to say, oh dear, after a quite exciting two-parter in Spyfall Parts 1 and 2, which reveals a lot of things that I am going to warn you now if you have not seen these episodes. Spoiler warning, big massive spoiler warning right now. So, Season 12, or Series 12 as we would call it in the UK, opens with the two-parter that reintroduced Brian, Ryan and Yaz with the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Not initially. Initially, they were all back at home getting ready to go on their next adventure with the Doctor. Brian was having a health check. Ryan was playing basketball, I think it was, with his friends. Yaz was at home with her family, with a cover story of having a secondment, which apparently is her fourth secondment, which I think means that she's going on a breakaway from May, her probationary period as a police officer. In case you didn't know from series 11, Yaz is a probationary police officer in the Sheffield Police Force. Brian is a bus driver, and Ryan works in a warehouse, which you probably gathered from the episode Kablam. He was probably the best person working in the warehouse. So we obviously arrive with these characters after a year away from them, with them obviously having still been going back and forward on adventures in that time that we haven't seen, because we haven't seen them since 2018. And then they meet back up with the Doctor, who has been working on her TARDIS at an MOT depot, but they don't just arrive. Initially, at the beginning of the episode, we see some people being disappeared. Now, these people turn out to be spies for MI6, and we're introduced to these men in black with sunglasses who take Brian, Yaz, and Ryan away with them, and they meet up with the Doctor at this MOT garage, warehouse place, where she's working on the underside of her TARDIS, which a lot of people seem to have had a problem with her working on the underside, but I don't think that the certain things like the plumbing, as it were, works from the inside of the TARDIS. I think she has to get at it from the outside, which is what she was working on. So they are then initially started to be transported to MI6, but then their car is hijacked by some mysterious entities, which we won't find out who they are until either towards the end of part 1 or in part 2. So it basically, what's happening is the car gets hijacked and they're almost killed, like the driver is killed essentially, and the Doctor and her companions have to basically rescue themselves. So they make it to MI6, and we meet Stephen Fry, who is playing C. Now, C gets to have a few scenes with them where he shows them some of the spy gadgets that they have, like laser shoes and equipment that helps them to be able to go and spy on this guy played by Lenny Henry, who is called Daniel Barton. Now, Yaz and Ryan go undercover to Barton's Google type company that runs all the search engines and stuff in the UK now. So it's called Four, and basically in that we have discovered all of this. So basically in this two-parter, to cut a long story short, we get through all these different things with Daniel Barton and the Doctor and Yaz, Ryan and Brian, only to discover a very, very important cliffhanger at the very end of part 1, which is that O, who is someone that the Doctor has met before, turns out to be the Master. Now, we don't know which master he is. Is he a master who came before Misty? Is he a master that came like between Missy and like between John Sim and Missy? Basically, did he go on to become Missy? So like, obviously we get through the whole Spyfall part 1, part 2, and now, right, not to go too much more into the Spyfall episodes, we're now into Orphan 55. Now, Orphan 55 takes place at the Tranquility Spa. Now, we know from the end of Spyfall why the Doctor is in a frame of mind that she is. If you've seen the episodes, then you'll know that she went back to Gallifrey and the Master left her a message explaining why Gallifrey looks like it does and everything. So the Doctor is suppressing these feelings and dealing with this, and while she's suppressing these feelings, they go off on this little adventure to this Tranquility Spa that turns out to be not so tranquil. Now, this is a departure from the amazing cinematic um, episodes of Spyfall Part 1 and 2 because it feels a lot like we've gone back to how the episodes of season 11 when Yaz, Brian, Ryan, and the Doctor were still getting a feel for each other and going back and forward on these different adventures, like the Dragon Conundrum and all that with the little creature that was actually cute, like the little fat creatures were cute. I mean, I know like it basically ended up eating a bomb and like flying off into space, but the creatures in this episode, Orphan 55, turn out to not be so much creatures as it were, but this is yet another route that we could go down on this, but like I'm gonna tell you again now, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to be spoiled, then stop watching this video now because I'm basically gonna go into spoiler territory. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. The creatures turn out to be a mutated form of the human race because there's a big global warming story arc in this episode, which is why we find it so disappointing because yes, we do need to do a lot to sort out our carbon footprint and all that stuff on this planet, but using an episode after Spyfall Part 1 and 2 to yet again go into a kind of political rhetoric in regards to saving the planet, we are aware that the Doctor has adopted the planet Earth as kind of her own like home after Gallifrey like exiles her when she was a man to our planet way back in the original series of Doctor Who. She was basically when she was a man. I think it was when she was John Pertwee, or no, when she was the second Doctor. Basically, they exiled her to Earth as a planet, and I think over time they've said that that the Doctor is part human to a degree. So it's the only home that she'd know other than Gallifrey, and everything is basically being retconned by what happened at the end of Spyfall Part 2 as to what happened with Matt Smith's Doctor in saving the planet thanks to the Master and what the Master's done. So in this episode, we're back to the same old, definitely a missed episode of this. Now, with these creatures turn out to be a mutated form of humans, the Tranquility Spa turns out to be kind of a midnight episode-ish place because it's a spa that they've gone to. And everything like a lot of the side characters, it doesn't make any sense. One minute they don't like each other, the next minute they're saving each other. Some of the other side characters we don't even get to find names out of or anything, basically killed off. They're just there to be killed off by these mutated humans, as we find out they are, and everything. So it's just like I'm really hoping that next week's episode gets back to the same level as Spyfall, but I do have a feeling that they spent all their budget on this big opening two-parter of Spyfall Part 1 and 2 and getting a master reveal and big budgets on exploding aeroplanes and all that stuff, and now back to basics with it. And I'm not, but like, I don't really want to be blaming any particular person, blaming the writers, blaming the showrunners or anything. I certainly don't blame the actors because they're basically doing what they're doing based on their scripts and stuff and what they're told to do. Jodie Whittaker really needs to curb this fast talking because, as she's explained on an interview that she did recently, um, between like just after the episodes have gone out, she has to go into ADR to match up what she said when she's on the episodes, but she talks so fast and she explains so much that we're not stupid showrunners and writers. We can figure a lot of things out ourselves without the constant commentary. Even when the master was being he said, "Is he here just to give running commentary in one of the Spyfall episodes?" And it does feel like a lot of exposition and commentary and stuff is being done. So I'm really hoping that next week's episode, considering we've only got 7 episodes left, they do try to focus more on the timeless child, which was mentioned originally by the ribbon things in Ghost Monument. And so, if you're interested in more in-depth reviews of the Doctor Who episodes that have been on so far for series 12 episodes, otherwise you can check out people like the Who Addicts, I think the Time Ladies, Mr. TARDIS reviews. He's done reviews of Spyfall Part 1 and 2. Do appreciate that they tried to do a 007 type like homage to that, but it really fell flat with the savings. Like a lot of things were like not explained in favour of other things, and that so check out those reviews for ideas that they could have gone with. Thank you for watching my review. I did have other reviews that I was going to do. I watched Tolkien and other films when I was on my holiday recently. I also went and saw Frozen 2, which I haven't done an actual review on. I've just done some questions about what they could have done. So please check out any of my reviews I've done. And please like if you like these kind of videos, share if you to Facebook and to Twitter and other social media. Leave a comment in the comment section down below as to what you thought of Orphan 55 and Skyfall Part 1 and 2. And if you haven't already, join the other 128 subscribers on my channel by subscribing to the channel because it really does help with the algorithm. I will see you again soon. Bye!